Hello, this is Lisa, and I am recording for the first time some of my Sims doing things in my Apocalypse Challenge. This is based on the Apocalypse Challenge by Pinstar and I think ImaginingMystic, which is on their website, the Sims Legacy Challenge website. And the concept is that a terrible disaster has overtaken the world and all kinds of technologies are no longer available. So it's up to your brave founder Sim and all of her friends and family and descendants to reach the top of their chosen careers and restore technology and privileges and wonderful things to the world. So I've been playing this particular family, the Farnsworth family, for several weeks of game time, and they've only managed to lift one restriction so far, which is the culinary restriction. I won't go through all the rules of how the Apocalypse Challenge works, but I'll link to it in the description below this video. So I'm just jumping in, and this is my first attempt at Let's Playing anything. I'm just giving it a go and seeing how it works, seeing how the software works and how uploading things to YouTube works. And I'm a firm believer that you start out being crap at something and over time you do it more and you get good at it, and the first 20 tries should be crap. So I'm aiming to make this as crap as possible, and therefore I can only improve. So she tends to go down here to the basement a fair bit to mourn her lost husband Dominic Fires, whom I got her to seduce and move in before realising that he was actually married with kids, so he was a little bit sad, but it was too late. I'd already moved him in, and the rules of the challenge are that once you can only move in one sim per generation. And so he had to father those kids. There was no choice. She had to break up that happy home and he had to leave his wife. Occasionally they come over to visit the kids and they say, "Oh yes, you're the person who stole my father." Except they don't seem to be that cross about it, so I guess they're over it by now. It's good that they can move on with their lives. We have 4 sons, and this is the oldest one here, Kathmandu. The mum there is Cierra, so I ended up just picking names of natural features and mountains and cities and places that are known for natural beauty, because of the Cierra inspired me with that way. And I kind of like to give my Sims stupid names that don't make any sense, or that you wouldn't possibly give to a human, that are inspired by what's objects on my desk or what's the last thing that somebody said to me. So I might have Sims called Stapler and Paperclip and Pen, or Frog and Toad and Rabbit, or whatever it might be. They don't really have to live with this, and the other Sims don't care what their names are, so I figure, why should I care? Well, not why should I care. They're more memorable when they have ridiculous names. If I called them all Fred and George, I would forget their names. So Cierra at this point, because she's the only one who has maxed out her career, she then moved on to the author career, so that she can... Oh shit! Get off that bloody computer! I haven't lifted the restriction yet that allows him to play on computers, so he's not allowed to do that. And I have found that I have decided that I really want to prioritise lifting all the restrictions that get in the way of doing things that they want to do, because I really like to play with free will on the highest setting. But if I do that, then of course they do things that, according to the rules of the Apocalypse Challenge, they're not supposed to do, like play on the computer that's really only there for them to write books on, or whatever the career requirement is. Or they might... Oh shit, excuse me, I'm going to have to learn not to swear at my Sims if I'm going to keep recording this, or just make it clear that this particular channel on YouTube is full of swearing, because I'm full of swearing. And I cannot change now. Well, I could change, but I don't really want to. Okay, so I'm going to have him make a fruit salad. I do have a particular Sim that I'm training up on the mixology skill. That's this one, Nevis. But he's sleeping at the moment, and we've almost run out of decent food, so good old Bulla can cook some fruit salad. Did I tell him to make something? He's cleaning out some food and then cooking something. Fruit salad, there we go. So at least they've all got fridges and microwaves and stoves now, which is a nice change after having nothing but fish, grilled fish, for the first few weeks of their existence here in the Apocalypse Challenge. Sarah's gone back to bed. The next one that we're trying to get to maximum level is the athlete bodybuilder career, because I rather stupidly did not buy a crib before Sierra had the first child, Kathmandu, and of course she gave birth next to this bed, which means that this side of the bed can't be used unless they shuffle across, and they just kept getting really confused when I told them to shuffle across. And so I decided I don't care about any of the other things nearly as much as I care about lifting this restriction on being able to move things. So one of the restrictions, the bodybuilder restriction, is that once you have placed anything larger than a 1x1 tile, you cannot move it. It has to stay exactly where it is until you lift that restriction. So I've got this crib here blocking this bed. I've got these other beds here that I put there and that I really don't want anymore, like there's one toddler bed here. Everything in the basement levels is a bit of a disaster in layout, and I discovered that I had to put these stairs over here because I'd accidentally put a box punching bag where I didn't want it to be, and the pool is tiny because I put everything else in the way. And I bought this ridiculous monkey bars thing because I thought the kids needed it to up their motor skills, and it takes up so much space and I can't move it because it's bigger than a 1x1 square. And then down here in the basement we have more toddler beds and regular beds, and I can't really move most of those. Well, any of the beds, but most of the other stuff here can't be moved either. So I'm really keen to lift that bodybuilder restriction, which is what Kathmandu will be doing. Oh, what's he doing at the moment? He's kneeling on the ground outside with a book that his mum wrote. Who knows why? Why don't you put that book away, Kathmandu? And then perhaps you can wash your hands a million times and go to bed. Because after bodybuilder restriction, the next one that I'm working towards is the journalist restriction, which is once that's lifted, we can have baths and showers. But until then, everybody just washes their hands over and over and over and over and over and over. And then the sinks break. And we can't replace them or upgrade them until we lift some other restrictions that let us have fancier sinks and let us use upgrades. So I think once they have a shower and a bath, they might not spend quite so much time washing their hands or being really sad about how grotty they are. So after Kathmandu has washed his hands 5 times, he can go to bed. His bed's down here in the basement. Let me see who else is awake at the moment. Buller is awake. He's one of our twins. He's the one who just cooked that fruit salad. What's going on with those lights? They keep turning on. Turning off when they're not supposed to. And then I don't know what's going on with the lights in my game. They won't come back on again. Hello, why are you sitting in the dark? Let's turn on all the lights in the house. Will that work? No. Okay, fine. Maybe what we're really saying here, since it's 5:17 a.m. or 5:20 a.m. now in game time, that the sun is coming up, therefore you don't need all the lights in the house on. But it's still dark. It looks wrong. Anyway, he has to go to school in a little bit. He's still at high school, him and his twin brother Hotham. So now that he's had his food, I'm going to send him back to bed. I'm really inconsiderate of their bedtimes. I'll send them to sleep instead of nap in the middle of the day, and then keep them awake all night, and then only notice at 5:43 a.m. that, oh dear, they have to go to school in another couple of hours, so maybe they should try to get a couple of hours sleep first. They're just Sims. They don't care. Well, they do care a little bit in a artificial intelligence kind of way. I quite like Hotham, and even though he's the youngest, I think he might end up being the heir. He's he just seems pretty nice. Some of the others are kind of less nice. There, especially his twin brother Buller is a bit of a jerk. And then their older brothers, Kathmandu and Nevis, are just kind of... They're alright, but they're a bit weird. And I normally like weird, but I'm not sure I like the particular brand of weird that the oldest two have got going on. So I think I'm going to make Hotham the heir, which means that when he gets to adulthood, which should be in how many days now? In 9 days, we better start looking out for a attractive sim that he can reproduce with to produce the next generation. What's his career going to be? I keep forgetting. So one of them's going to be a tech guru. Buller, I think, is going to be the tech guru. So he can lift the restriction that... What is that one? I think that's the restriction that prevents us from watching TV and using computers and stuff, because they keep wanting to autonomously use the computers, and it annoys me that they can't. Oh, he didn't use the shed. Oh, maybe the sink broke when he tried to use it, so he's really gross. Look at that gross boy. He's gross in a way that's even more gross than teen boys usually are. So, and he probably broke the sink again. It's a little strange how they'll take their whatever they're eating while they wash hands. Let me go down and see if he broke the sink. No, he just didn't want to use it. Maybe because his dad's ceremonial urn is down there, and we can't let his spirit free until after we lift... I can't remember which restriction it is. There's another restriction that prevents you from releasing the souls of your dead sims, so we have to keep him on the lot. And also within that 8x8 square. So if you're wondering why we have this lot with all this space around it, but all these floors up and down, and all the basement levels, it's because one of the Apocalypse Challenge restrictions is that you can only build within this 8x8 square, and everything has to be covered by 4 walls and a roof, with the exception of 3 items, specified items, and those 3 are your outdoor trash bin, your letterbox, and the rocket ship, which is up here on the roof. And I realised after that I'd put this rocket ship here that there's another level that I could have used, but I can't put the rocket ship up there until I lift the bodybuilder restriction and can actually move the rocket ship. So at the moment it's there, and it'll go up onto the top level, and then we'll have another floor. So while Hotham has his breakfast and cleans the sink, I'll show you the house that they live in, which has got a rocket ship up here. Nothing on the top level yet, but eventually the rocket ship will be up there. And then once we lift the restriction that lets us go outside of that 8x8, the walls and ceiling restriction, I can't remember which one that is, but when we lift that we might have some other stuff up there. And then I'll use this top level probably for skill building or something. At the moment there's not much on the inside because for some reason I can't put a door here, so all else that's up on this level is just a piano, which nobody's really using at the moment. Then there's a sort of a fun and skill building area up here, which is extremely randomly laid out, and all of the plumbing parts, so that they don't fill up the Sims inventories, are up here on shelves, except for these larger ones that won't fit. Because, of course, another part of the bodybuilding restriction is that you cannot... Oh, shoot, did he miss work? Oh, thank goodness he's not working today. If your Sims miss work, or if they're late for work, they have to quit that job and they can't retake it. And that's another restriction that I'm not planning to lift in this generation, but I hope to lift soon. So, oh my goodness, he's in a terrible, terrible mood, but he has to go to work in 4 minutes and there is no other option, otherwise he has to quit the job. And then he won't be able to lift that journalism restriction for me. So yeah, this level has got chess and darts, which I've placed in a bad position because they can't play a game, but I can't move it because it takes up a footprint of more than 1 by 1. And I can't move the stairs, so that's stuck there and it's a bit useless. They've got drawing table, chemistry table, the bench, which actually is not nearly as useful as I thought it would be. It's there anyway, but I think all they've used it for is to make a few sculptures. Here's a dragon and a bunny, plus that guitar. Cierra made that guitar. Oh, it's quite a nice guitar. And then they have card games and books and stuff if they want to do that sort of stuff. On this level is the master bedroom, and everything else is just going to be single beds and toddler beds. I've decided that everyone who's not actually the procreating... Oh, shoot, he's late! Oh no, it's school, good. Doesn't matter if he's late for school. They don't have to quit school, in fact they can't. But if they're late for a job, then that's a disaster. I don't care if Sarah's late for work, because she's already reached the top of her career, and a single sim in the household can only reach the top of one career. They can join another career after they've reached the top of their career, but they can't go and open or lift the restrictions for that other career that they join. So yeah, this is mainly a bedroom floor. This is the main kitchen and dining area with gross food all over the place, and a bathroom. I think we need a bathroom on just about every level at the moment because they're always needing to wash their hands. But there's not one up here on the skill building level. And also on the first basement level, there's no bathroom either, and they really need it down here because they get pretty stinky on the exercise equipment. But that's bad luck. There's one of those little portable bars. Oh, actually, they can put that in inventory, so theoretically I could move that, but it feels like that's not quite in the spirit of it. And that's for doing mixology skill. Oh, hang on, Nevis is at work as a journalist. He did an important interview for a big article, but now the subject is offering him a bribe to leave less than flattering details out of the final story. Nevis can either take it and water down his story or stick to his principles. I think he'll refuse to take the bribe. Okay, he got a performance gain. Good. Alright, so this is an exercise level, but I think it really badly uses the space. It's not nicely decorated. I'm not happy with this, and I had to put the stairs over here instead of all the other ones. They've got the stairs next to each other. Looks pretty stupid like that. And then that affects this lower level where the stairs are in the middle again. And this lower level is where I realised I needed more single beds because the household can have up to 8 Sims in it at a time. And there'll be the one who's like the head of the household or the main procreating Sim, and they get the double bed, and everyone else gets single beds. So there could be 7 Sims needing single beds, and maybe 2 or 3 toddlers at a time as well, which need their own beds. They can't sleep in the regular beds. So I think this is going to end up staying a bed level, but once I manage to lift the bodybuilder restriction and I can get this stuff out of the way, I'm intending to make the pool go the full 8 length so when they swim laps it doesn't look quite so silly. At the moment they go swim, 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 swim. Actually, let's get her to swim some laps. Swim some laps, Sierra. It takes 1 stroke to get to the end of the pool and then turn around and go back again. And she's supposed to write some books. What is she on? Level 7 of the novelist career at the moment. She just went up super quick because Sierra is actually... I downloaded her from the gallery and she has maxed out every skill except for baking. And I don't know how she managed to do that without cheats as a child and teenager. And possibly it's made this Apocalypse Challenge slightly easier than it would have been otherwise, but I don't know what I'm doing, so I need all the help I can get, so I don't mind the fact that she's possibly a little bit cheaty. There we go. Swim, swim, turn around, swim. Turn around, swim. Oh, no, not very good at doing laps. Her daily task is to write books, but there's no way she's going to get that finished before she has to go to work, so I'll let her swim a little bit more. And then in a moment she'll be done. I love the sound of the water. It makes me want to go swimming. But it's a little sad to see such a tiny pool. I like the way these paintings are sort of reflected in the water too. I haven't noticed that before. I just put them there before. I'm not much of a decorator in The Sims, but I've been watching a lot of speed builds on YouTube lately and thinking, oh, I want to do some more stuff. Especially I like to watch Deligracy and Sim Supply and Devon Bumpkin, and I'm sure there's heaps of other good ones, but those are the three that I've watched the most of so far, and it just suddenly it helps me to realise that there are an awful lot of things that I could do that I'm not necessarily going to do them all, but I can copy people. If I'm not very good at it myself, I can copy other people's ideas, and that's a perfectly legitimate way to learn, I think, just learning, watching other people and trying to recreate them. And whenever you copy somebody else's idea, it's never an exact copy anyway. You always put a little bit of your spin on it, and then the more copies you do, the more you get the hang of what you're doing, to the point where after a while it becomes your own original stuff. I just think, as long as you claim, oh yeah, Billy can come over. I have been thinking of moving Billy in. I don't know if we'll actually get married or not, but she's almost a little too old for the other Sims now. I think she's a full adult, and I'm sorry to be so mercenary, Billy. Well, not mercenary, I don't know if it's the right word, pragmatic, but she has to be making babies for the next generation, so she might be a little too old. I think she's a full adult now, not a young adult anymore. And my proposed heir, Hotham, is not yet even an adult, so never mind, Billy. Look, you wouldn't like living here anyway. It's a bit of a disaster. So you've dodged a bullet, but we still like you and want you to come visit. And help yourself to the fruit salad. Or no, what you doing? You're just going to stand in the corner and look at the fridge? What a lovely fridge that is. Part of the rule of the Apocalypse Challenge is that you're supposed to have just the cheapest version of everything. And there are 2 versions of these fridges, and I couldn't bring myself to get the absolute cheapest one, which just looks a bit shabbier than the other when they're identical otherwise, so I didn't get the shabby ones. I'm not plagued strictly by the rules. Alright, Cierra, off at work in the writing career. The publisher wants her to appear on the new show with a host she just can't stand. Grin and bear it. No, or flat out refuse. Well, I would go on the show and just make a total disaster of myself. If it was a host I couldn't stand, I'd be just like, yeah, up yours, fuck you, etc., etc. So that would be fun. And what happened? The host is a jerk. She got a performance gain and some money. That's good. I tell you what's been really valuable about Cierra, with her charisma skill maxed out. She can just randomly introduce herself to anybody and ask them for a large loan, and they'll give her 2,000 simoleons. I love that about her. So whenever it comes Monday, one of the restrictions is that you have to pay all of your bills and then pay any remaining money out to the mob, which basically means you use the money cheat to reduce your funds to 0. But because she has this ability to go and ask people for loans and then never pay it back, she just waits till somebody wanders past and then introduces herself and gets the relationship up in no time, and then asks them for a large loan, and ching ching 2,000 simoleons come in. I don't know if that was an unexpected benefit. I was not quite anticipating that would happen, but I like it a lot. Alright, so he's... what's his name? Kathmandu is having some fruit salad, some poor quality fruit salad made by his brother Bulla. Having a chat with Billy, who's sitting in front of a stinky plate of cheesy bread. Wow, perhaps somebody could clean that up. I'll be really looking forward to the point where we can actually hire a maid. Oh, he can upgrade. That means he's got some parts in his inventory. No, he hasn't got any parts in his inventory. I don't know why then. And he wants to cloud gaze, but he's not allowed to do that because of the toxic stuff in the atmosphere preventing people from cloud gazing. So most of the time I'm ignoring their whims and aspirations because there's a restriction that prevents them being able to do anything with them. What does Bulla want to do? You want some fun? Read a book, Bulla. Don't just stand there staring at things. Actually, Oh no, I could get him to go and exercise, because part of Kathmandu's job requirement is that he has to mentor people in fitness so he can get to the top of his career. But he can't go out to the gym to mentor people who just have to be working out there, so he has to get one of his brothers to start exercising, and then he can mentor them. And a lot of the time they're just in really bad moods, or busy at school, or yeah, they're no fun. What's Hotham doing? Hello, Hotham, you're going to get some food. Good plan. Bulla might read a book. Let's go downstairs and get you to work out, Bulla. Run with your chest out like a jerk that you are. What a good idea, boy. And then, as soon as you're down there on the treadmill, we can get Kathmandu to come and mentor you. What you doing, Kathmandu? You're about to go to the loo. Good person, good boy. You're actually in a good mood apart from that. And you've just broken the sink. Nevis is a kleptomaniac. I do like that. He'll just randomly bring things home from school all the time, or from work. What's he got this time? Is that in his inventory? Yeah, he's got some books. Good on you, Nevis. Always nice to bring home some new books. Alright, so go mentor your stinky brother. Ta-da! And he's going to run until he collapses from the stink. Nevis. Oh, you're so gross. Get to the top of your career, boy, and then we can all have showers. Oh, and Kathmandu broke that sink. Because Cierra has level 10 handiness skill, she can actually insta-repair things, which is very nice. But she's at work at the moment, so they'll have to repair their own sinks. Like savages. Now, I think, what are we up to? We're almost up to 30 minutes. That's a long thing for me to be waffling on about. So I might end this recording here and muck around with it in whatever editing program that I can figure out how to use, and then upload it to the YouTubes. Bye.